Hey everybody, this is GGB, co-host Puppers, and I hope you guys are excited for the first episode of TPS is complete and absolute garbage. Yay! Today I'm going to be talking about TPS's video about Mount Rushmore of all the different NFL positions. I'm going to focus on the quarterback ones. Remember, hit the like and subscribe button if you like this video. Comment down below if you want to see more of me debunking TPS's videos. If you don't know what TPS is, it's a website called Total Pro Sports. It's a sports channel that produces quality content like the truth about the Super Bowl the NFL doesn't want you to know. Patrick Mahomes doesn't want us to release this embarrassing video. This one's my favorite. This one might be one of my favorites. Because it wants us to believe that a sports channel with a little bit over 1 million subscribers has personal contact information with Patrick Mahomes, probably one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL right now. I think that one's hilarious. Then we have this one. I think at first glance this might be normal. But the picture on the right was actually taken before the picture on the left if you look at it. The right one, the one where he's being carted off the field, and the left one is when he's recovering in the hospital later that week. And like, what the heck, Total Pro Sports? I mean, it's ballsy, to be sure. The fact that they thought no one was going to check him on it, the fact that they posted that video, it's absolutely amazing. I mean, it's stupid. But it is amazing that they thought they could get away with that. And then there's actually the fake news. I mean, as you can see, they title their videos so they get more views. Dang it. Then there's always the fake news. They title their videos with Then there's always the fake news, if you want to go down that road. They title their videos with clickbait and then there's always the fake news. They title their videos with clickbait if you haven't noticed. They title it like someone is getting traded away, and then when you click on the video, it's just, I think this should happen. It's pretty dumb. I think it's pretty unethical. They ask the question, how do you get more views? The answer? Clickbait, obviously, because they're just very excited about that. It's really unethical, in my opinion. Never mind, I'm going to start over. Then there's always the fake news that they post on there. If you haven't noticed, they title their videos with clickbait kind of titles, like Antonio Brown signs with the Seattle Seahawks, like stuff like that. I believe that will actually... then there's always the fake news. They title their videos with like clickbait titles so you click on them. They ask themselves, how did they get the most views? And clickbait somehow came into their heads, and that's what they do for a lot of different videos, and that's why I've really taken a disliking to TPS recently. It's really unethical if you actually look at it. The fact that their videos get over 550,000 views, mine rarely get more than 5, is really sad. Let me see if this works. Maybe TPS is onto something. So let's get into this TPS video. I'm sure you guys are excited to watch this Mount Rushmore video. I know I am. So let's get straight into this thing. I don't, but let's go on. Okay, so I think this is a very interesting group of 4. In my personal opinion, Tom Brady and Joe Montana definitely do deserve to be there, but them putting Peyton Manning and Johnny Unitas in the same league as those two, it's a little bit, I think, weird, and I don't think it's quite right. My opinion, Drew Brees and Dan Marino are if you're going to fill it out, I believe Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Drew Brees, and Dan Marino are the 4th greatest quarterbacks of all time. And I'll back up with it with my stats later. I believe I'll back up the Drew Brees argument. I don't have time to make the Dan Marino argument as well, but I do think there's an argument to be made there. I think there's an argument to be made here too. Well, let's see if TPS actually makes it.
Tom Brady, Joe Montana, Peyton Manning, Johnny Unitas. Johnny Unitas was the GOAT until Joe Montana arrived. The latter held the title until Tom Brady ran off with 6 Super Bowls.
Did you guys notice that? They said 6 Super Bowls. Let me replay it. And then they put 8 on the screen. Okay, TPS is smoking some serious crack cocaine. Because I think that's what they have to be on. It's 7, guys. I mean, it was at the beginning of February, so I know it's hard to keep track of, about something that happened about 2 weeks ago. But he's at 7 now. Not 8, not 6. I'm seriously worried about you guys. But let's talk about Peyton Manning a little bit. Okay, this argument about Johnny Unitas I've heard about 1,000,000 times before. He revolutionized the quarterback position, and that might be true. But we're talking about best of all time, not revolutionizing the position, right? We're not making it seem like... We're not picking him because he could complete passes, so that... The question is, if you put him in a league today, do you think he'd be one of the better quarterbacks in the NFL? And I ask that as a serious question, because I don't think so. I don't think Johnny Unitas was great. I think he was good. I think he would be a backup in the NFL right now if he played today. It's just, everyone remembers him as such a great player because he was able to complete passes, which no one had really been able to do before. But if you just look at players, like they're comparing him to the same level as Joe Montana and Tom Brady. Tom Brady and Joe Montana were amazing at what they did. Johnny Unitas just wasn't, and I don't understand the argument by it. And TPS never really makes it other than he revolutionized the quarterback position. I mean, that's just something you say. It's a cop-out of actually listing 4 great NFL players, and they just wanted to include someone from an early era. I've heard this, they revolutionized becoming a winner, right? Okay. They won lots of Super Bowls. Yeah, sure. For sure. They did win a lot of Super Bowls if you actually look at the numbers. But, I mean, I've never understood this argument. I've absolutely never understood it. Because there's this argument about Super Bowls, right? If the more Super Bowls you win, the better of a quarterback you must be, right? But if you actually look at the Super Bowl wins, right? Phillip Rivers and Dan Marino never won one. And I don't know a single person that believes people like Joe Flacco and Nick Foles are better quarterbacks than Phillip Rivers and Dan Marino. It's not a real argument, and it's not. That's why I don't really consider the Super Bowl argument a valid argument. Because they only think that Tom Brady is the GOAT because he won that many Super Bowls, right? And I understand. He also has the stats to back it up, and I do think Tom Brady's one of the better quarterbacks of all time. But it's just this. He won that many Super Bowls, so he must be the greatest, right? But it's bad logic, and it's not good logic. And if you actually follow it, you can go down this rabbit hole of, you won 1 Super Bowl, so that means you're better than a guy that's won 0. And it's just, the fact is, Joe Flacco and Nick Foles have both won a Super Bowl. And Dan Marino never did, and Phillip Rivers never did. And it's a bad argument, and at least I don't think it's a good argument. I mean, you can absolutely tell that Jason is in a love relationship with Peyton Manning and Tom Brady. But let's look at Peyton Manning's stats versus Drew Brees' stats. Like, let's just see this person that everyone's fanning over. Drew Brees has the most passing yards in NFL history with 80,358. Now, he has played for 19 years. Tom Brady's played for 1 more year than he has, which means that Drew Brees is just, he's been throwing for more. Tom Brady technically has had more years under his belt, which is pretty crazy. Peyton Manning only played 17 years, which is impressive. But, I mean, it's not that impressive. I mean, Drew Brees passed it in his 17th year in the NFL, so that's not that crazy, right? That's why I think Drew Brees is one of the better ones, and you can see this. It's on Pro Football Reference. If you move on, you can do passing touchdowns of all time. Drew Brees is in second place with 571, with the only quarterback being ahead of him, with Tom Brady at 581. Moving on, you also have his career passing completion. He has a 67.7% completion percentage. The only quarterback that has ever come close, right? It is right now. Drew Brees is in second place, but that's probably going to go away because Deshaun Watson has only played for 3 years, and he's only 0.1 percentage better than Drew Brees. We'll see if that lasts, but Drew Brees definitely seems like he's going to hold that for a long time the way he has. And then if you actually look at the passing completions for single season records, Drew Brees has 4 of the top 5 records when he set it in 2018, 2019, 2017, and 2011 with the Saints. And then if you look at his accomplishment throughout his career, he has earned 13 Pro Bowl berths. That's tied for 5th all time, which is just it's annoying because 4 people are tied for first with 14. So really, Drew Brees is just really in second, but it's technically 5th. Only 2 quarterbacks have more. That's Tom Brady and Peyton Manning. He's had 2 NFL Offensive Player of the Year awards. He's been able to come back from serious injuries, which Peyton Manning never really did. So that's why I think personally he's one of the better quarterbacks of all time. I think that's why he's the best. But if you actually look at this argument, a lot of people argue that maybe the TPS is going off of just overall Super Bowl count. But if you're going to go off that, Tom Brady has 6, Joe Montana has 4 for sure. But then the other 2 people filling it out would be Terry Bradshaw and Troy Aikman. And I understand Johnny Unitas also won 3 championships, so I think you can throw him up there. But Peyton Manning only won 2 Super Bowls, so I mean that's probably not enough to get you up there, right? I mean, it should be Terry Bradshaw, Joe Montana, Tom Brady, and Johnny Unitas. The fact is that Super Bowls don't mean a whole lot if we're talking about the greatest players of all time. Do you think you would rather take, in their prime, would you take Peyton Manning or Drew Brees? And I take Drew Brees any day of the week. It's just, that's just what I have to say. And it's really annoying. It's really annoying that people use this argument. I mean, if you look at the statistics, if you look at what Drew Brees has done throughout his career, he's one of the best quarterbacks of all time. If not best, then he's second best of all time. And I think just TPS has put out some of their usual banger content. They don't really make arguments. They don't try and make arguments. They just kind of say it like it's a fact. It's their opinion and no one can call them on it. TPS is complete, absolute garbage. I mean, I'm not the only one to have made videos about this. People have left before. They make they made very good videos. I'll link them in the description below if you want to check that video out. But it's just, I'm trying to start a thing where I debunk every single one of their videos. Those people just mainly went into why they're a garbage channel because it's a bad corporation. But if you guys really enjoyed this video, please hit the subscribe button, like button, comment down below if you really enjoyed this idea. I enjoyed making it for you guys. Hey everybody, this is GGB, co-host Puppers saying adios amigos, and go. Hey everybody, this is GGB, co-host Puppers saying adios amigos, and boo TPS.